Hello, I'm ABX Toycat, and this is Q&A Saturday, the weekly series I run on my channel, where I answer some of your questions from the past week or so over my channel. Obviously, half of these questions tend to be about the next big update, which we're currently calling TU51 for Minecraft on all consoles, as well as just other things that people want to ask me from the comment section and also from Twitter. So make sure you follow me at ABX Toycat or leave your comments in the comment section down below, because those are where I pick the questions mostly from each week. With that said, I hope you all enjoy it. Like it if you do like it, because it helps out the channel a lot, and let's know you do like this sort of stuff. But let's get straight into it, shall we? And let's start with the first question, which comes in from Sazulu Loagua 16, I believe, who says 4J should make the option for 1.9 and 1.8 combat. Dislike if you agree, low. And then there's 7 likes, which means that because he said dislike if you agree, I guess people liking it means they disagree. But anyway, the actual point here is, he suggests a really easy option, which a lot of people always suggest, which is why not just make it so that, if some people don't like 1.9 combat, why not just add the option to turn it off? And it sounds really simple on the surface, but truth be told, it's not simple in any way, because first of all, you would only be able to do that on single player worlds, because otherwise one of the combat systems will be better, and you'll have a disadvantage if you use the new one, which doesn't have spam clipping, versus the old one, so you'd have to balance that in some way, so it wouldn't work basically. It would be for single player only. And even in that crazy situation where you say, oh, this is only single player, one, on console there is no single player, you're always running a one-person server, because that's how you let friends join at any one time. It's a pretty cool thing the console has exclusively, actually, so you're always running a server, so it's a bit tricky. But if we say, okay, offline single player only, then you still have to bear in mind that 4G would have to make sure both versions are bug fixed, both versions make sense, and even then there'd still be the issue of one combat system would be more powerful, and most people wouldn't like that solution. So yeah, a lot of people suggest like, oh yeah, why not have both? In this particular case, it doesn't work. It's going to have to be one or the other, and right now they're sticking with the current combat system, at least until something big happens. I'll let you know as soon as that does happen, and it might even be the next update. It just seems unlikely at this point. So TU51, new combat or new combat switch? Probably not, but we'll have to wait and see, at least on the new combat front. But there definitely won't be a combat switch. It's going to be one or the other, and there's going to be a little bit of there's going to be some number of people upset either way, which is one of the big problems with the way the combat was implemented. But with that said, let's move into the second question, shall we? Which comes in from Abs, who says, at IBX Toycat, what's your favorite thing about the Switch so far? So my favorite thing about the Switch, so I actually I got it, and then I flew like literally 12 hours later or something like that. And the cool thing about the Switch to me is the fact that it works amazingly on planes. So before this, I'd used the 3DS from time to time in a flight, but it really wasn't the right size for me. But the the Switch, you can pull out the back to it, and it sits on a plane train table, or you can hold it like it's a Game Boy Advance, and it's so portable, and it plays full like home console titles. I feel like this is this is actually, it's carved out a niche for itself. It's a tablet with controller buttons that has good games on it. That's what I love about the Switch. I love that it's like the flight machine that also is a home console, and yeah, it's actually a really cool console. I'd recommend it, but only under the condition that like you're fine with buying it for one game right now. Right now, it is only useful for Breath of the Wild. Pretty much every game else on there doesn't really need to be on a Switch. It's just cool to play it there. And although I've been having fun playing, the brand new Shovel Knight and stuff, it's not, you don't need to Switch to do that stuff. I'd say wait until the end of the year, or wait till Minecraft comes out if that's a big deal for you. And this will be the best platform for portable Minecraft by far. This will be the best platform for Mario Odyssey, I think it's called, as well as, of course, Breath of the Wild is pretty darn cool. So there's all my thoughts on the Switch. Hope you all enjoy it. Let's move on to the next question, though, which comes in from Casey Mill, who says, #Q, can you do more cooking with Toycat, please? I actually enjoy them. Maybe I'm the only one I'm weird for enjoying watching a British internet cat, and sometimes it's plummet. It sounds ridiculous when you say it like that, but fail at cooking food, but I really like to see more of them. The pancake was hilarious. I enjoyed watching you and Jeff make Pepsi pancakes. So let me just first of all say thank you very much for this comment. Like, it's one of those few, YouTube comments in the pile that are actually constructive. They say nice things, and I really appreciate it, Casey Mill. But actual question, which is, can you do more cooking with Toycat? I think I will do some more cooking with Toycat. I think I want to like actually learn to cook something, I guess not like complex, but like kind of fun, like, maybe bake a cake one day, or maybe I've done that in the past now, because there's a couple of days between I'm recording this and going up. But there's a bunch of ideas I have for like a cooking with Toycat thing. But yeah, it just has to be when I have an evening free, I'm not already streaming, and I just decide to put out the YouTube live app. So yeah, that's something that'll be happening soon, and I will be turning on Super Chat as soon as like YouTube switches me over. So that'll be a cool thing you can do also as well as that. So yeah, that's it. Let's move on to the fourth question, which comes in from Jacob Hollier, who says, "Hey Toycat, do you know the observer block will be when the observer block will be introduced into the Xbox One/PS3 editions? #Q&A." So weird combination of editions, but I assume it just means Minecraft console. When will there be the observer block? And the simple answer to this question is probably the next update. So unless the next update is either 1.10 based or it's Realms based or one of those things, which is possible, I just don't think it, in my opinion, it's not the more likely option. I think if the next update is 1.11, which again, it's what it looks like right now, we will will see the observer block because it really is just a piece of redstone that does some cool stuff. I think the 1.11 update is a really weird one to bring to Minecraft console, so whether that is the next update or not is the big debate. But if it does come, then you'll have your observer block, which allows you, of course, to work out, whenever there is any movement, it's a block update detector. It puts out a redstone signal, so if you open or close a door, it opens the thing, and it's a really cool piece of redstone. I'm actually looking forward to playing around with because I know there's so many cool things it unlocks, and I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully you are too, Jacob, because at some point this year, you will have a observer block. I will guarantee you that much. So, yeah, that's it. Let's move on to the next question, which comes in from Jacob Morcher, who says, Wii U will be like the GameCube, so bad but remembered fondly. And this struck a chord with me because the GameCube is one of the most fondly remembered consoles in my head. It was such a cool idea. Look at the cute little discs. It's got so many things going for it, but it didn't do very well, commercially. However, I feel like the Wii U was also not really liked by Nintendo fans. Okay, so as someone who's, again, bought every Nintendo console besides the Wii, the Wii U had this problem where, everyone thought it was something, and then it turned out to be something else. Everyone thought the gamepad could be its whole own, console, and then, it turns out it's not. Everyone thought there would be a Zelda game at some point, and technically there is now, but really it's a Switch game that happens to be on the Wii U. There's all these kind of issues with the, the Wii U that make me say, I don't think it will be remembered too fondly. I think it will be remembered as the flop that nearly killed Nintendo, that they either saved themselves from, or that, ended up nearly killing them. So, which way it goes is entirely beyond me, but I don't think it will be remembered as fondly as the GameCube, but maybe that's because I love the GameCube. So yeah, let's move on to the next question, which comes in from Craft Buck, who says, at IVX Toycat, will we see infinite worlds in Realms for console? So, easy answer to this question is probably, almost certainly, in fact, and, before I made videos on oh yeah, it's technically possible because the only limitation on the Xbox One and PS4 stopping infinite worlds is the, the storage on the console. You can only use so much storage off Microsoft/Sony because they don't want you to use up too much of their stuff. So basically, that's the only thing stopping infinite worlds right now. But if you use a cloud server as opposed to local storage, you should be able to have infinite worlds. And although that's, theoretically possible, the thing that makes me say it's definitely going to happen, or almost certainly, I should say, not definitely, is the fact that the Pocket Edition currently has, again, infinite and big air quotes realms, and because the two realms are going to be cross-playing at some point, because, PE Realms uses Xbox Live, and they've said they want them to cross-play, that's the easiest way. I think that the realms on console would have to be infinite. There's no way you can, work around that, and that is something that sounds pretty darn exciting to me. When will that happen? Probably, let's call it the end of this year, but I think that when it will be properly cross-playable and all that sort of stuff, probably, some point next year or whatever. But yeah, it's one of those exciting ideas I'd like to see at some point, but I don't know when it's happening, but it will happen almost certainly. So yeah, let's move on to the next question, which comes in from Avenging Cats. Nice name, by the way, who says, Soy Cat, there's actually a chance for command blocks because they've revealed they're adding them to the PE in one of the next few updates. You've even covered it. So, yeah, they are adding the command blocks to the Pocket Edition, and this does increase their chance of coming to the console, but you've got to bear in mind that on the Pocket Edition, again, you have a keyboard kind of built into your phone. It's not actually built into it, but, there is a keyboard on there that people can use, whereas on the console, there's no built-in keyboard. So, as soon as the Pocket Edition either develops a better command block, or the PC develops a better command block, that has a really good chance of coming to the console, but not the currently existing PC command block. That's what I'm going to say every single time this comes up. It's really important to bear in mind the current PC command block won't come to console, but as soon as they make a better one that works with a graphical user interface, i.e. you just tap stuff and make it happen, that's when it will come to console, or that's at least when it can come to console. They've said it before, they'll say it again, and that's what I'm going to say to repeat those people. So yeah, with that said, let's move on to the next question, which comes in from Batman the Person. Interesting name, by the way, who says, even if 4J doesn't add in the new combat, they should at least add in dual wielding and shields. And apart, although that sounds pretty reasonable on the surface, I think dual wielding and shields without the balance might not make too much sense. I feel like you kind of need to add the things together, and although, at some point they might just decide to go with your option of just people hate the new combat, why not add the good bits of it without adding the delays? That's something that could happen. I just don't see it as being very likely because all of the new weapons are balanced around that, so you have to take out the axe and so you've got a lot of changes you have to make to balance around that, and I think realistically what will happen is either they'll stick with the old combat, or they'll decide to just add in the new combat at some point after everyone stopped, complaining about it all the time, which is something that sounds pretty positive to me. So yeah, that's it. Let's move on to the next question, which comes in from Benedict Tukler. There's little dots on the U, which makes it an omlot U, I think. But yeah, I don't know how you pronounce your name. I'm sorry, but they say Q438. What were you buying and selling on your website? So On my website, I think I referenced it, I was like 12 or 13, right? On my website, the idea was that I would pay, so people could pay to have their, website displayed to thousands of people for very cheap, and then people would be paid a very tiny amount of money, like less than a cent, to click on each ad. So you'd make like, let's call it 10 cents a day clicking on ads, and the people who wanted you to check out their website would have like 1,000 people to at least look at their site. Maybe they don't make too many sales, or, too many people would start using it, but at least they see the site. It's a good way to get exposure, and it was, very, very cheap. It was a really cool kind of combination, and I still think I do it best. I did a lot of things better than a lot of people do, even to this day, other sites that still exist, which I part of me is really proud of that, like 13-year-olds, doing some things better than this like real business that exists right now out there, and yeah, I'm proud of that little bit of my little past, so hopefully you're proud of me too, everyone. If not, but let's move on to the final question, which comes in from Corey Norris, who says, at IBX Toycat, do you ever meet fans in public? I do every now and then. It's actually kind of weird to me, like it's surreal, like, wait, I mean, I make YouTube videos, but, part of me is always like, yeah, but these are internet people that watch them. The internet's a very separate place to real life, so whenever someone comes up to me, I'm like, oh, hello, and it's only happened, like, let's call it 5 times outside of conventions and, like, airports and stuff where you'd expect it, but it's always been kind of crazy, and if you ever want to meet me, if you ever see me or someone who looks like me, go and say hi. Maybe it's not me and they say, sorry, I'm not Toycat. Maybe I'll say, sorry, it's not Toycat. But realistically, if you want to say hi, just come up to me. I don't like the idea of like doing a specific fan meetup, because that creates like it's just not quite, you don't actually meet the people who actually know you, whereas if you just randomly walk up to someone, I know that you've at least watched the videos to like know what my face looks like and stuff. I know, I hope that makes some form of sense to you, but if you ever do see me in London or an airport or in your country, then feel free to say hello or something. I don't know, it's a thing you can totally do if you want to. I just figured I should mention that here, so now that there's no official reason not to know. Anyway, that said though, hopefully that clarifies something or other. Hope you all enjoyed the Q&A Saturday. Like it if you did like it, because it helps out the channel a lot. Let us know you do like the Q&As, share if you really liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here, because I make videos like this one every single day on my channel, and if subscribed, you'll see them daily on your homepage. Leave your questions down below right now, because I'm responding to them tomorrow, because I'm flying to Colorado in Denver, or is it Denver in Colorado? I'm going to either the United States for a week now, and I'm going to be doing Q&A Saturday for next week tomorrow, so leave the questions before then, and I'll get to them, and ask about anything. Ask about America, ask about my life, ask about the trip to the Netherlands I just came back from, ask about any of those things. You can do it in the comments if you want to, because I'll see you all next time. Bye!